The big news that's coming out today on the economic front globally is oil prices. So barrel of oil does seem to be collapsing. Prices are going way down. So there's figures on the, let's see, WTI down to 71.03 Brent crude, 74.5. Then we see a comparison here. It hasn't been this low since early 2010. So we're talking about ups and downs for the past 4 years. The down now has been plummeting. People call this as dropping off a cliff. So you can see that even compared to early 2011, when there was a big nosedive, that means straight down, then without any jagged like up and down motion. 2011 was a steep drop, but it gave up and then had a rebound. But this is the longest plummet in all those years. In fact, the hugest drop off a cliff of oil prices was in the end of 2008, which is like a drop in value twice as much as the drop that we're seeing now. So that's 6 years ago. However, with today's dollars being adjusted by the quantitative easing, the value of a dollar, everything is a ratio of what is the relative worth of the fiat currency of the dollar according to the petroleum. So they try to have it meshed. They try to balance it out. That's why it's called a petroleum dollar economic system. But what people are crying about right now seems to be because of a strategy by OPEC. And OPEC right now has 12 member nations, with the Saudi Arabians leading them. That's the largest and the most wealthy. However, per capita, you could argue that Kuwait, Qatar, United Arab Emirates, if you want to sort them out, those smaller states are richer, they're smaller, so per capita. But we're not debating that right now. Just as a whole, OPEC seems to have a strategy to manipulate the market. Or how are they allowed to do this? It seems to be beneficial to them, but yet it's going against United States businesses, various others, Russian. There is an account that I read where it shows Venezuela came out of the latest meeting yesterday not happy. So, not sure what that means, but they're still counted as a member. If this means they're going to drop out of OPEC, I'm not sure. But for some reason, they don't seem like they're totally going along with the main decision of OPEC. Also, members are Ecuador. Indonesia is no longer a member. Nigeria is a member in Africa, as well as Algeria and Angola. So there's a Northern African contingency, and then Angola down further in the south. So, what is going to come of this? They say that a lot of the stock and bond and related, interconnected derivatives of this are going to collapse very soon, tomorrow, And going into next week, what does that mean? Well, here's the thing. I heard about all this. It's not news today, although they're ratcheting up in the mainstream media. I heard about this in the first week of November. So you need to look at your news headlines and see that it does pop up then. My impression was that it's already the start of an oil war. Like as of November, say November 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, around that period, I could already get a sense of that. I had to travel, I had to do a lot of things since then, and now it's just come back on the radar. So this has been building up, is what I want to say. It's been building up. So if the oil prices and the production and all this continues to go with this trend at this rate, there's going to be a equilibrium that certain factions are looking for in favor of OPEC. It looks like it is a huge war, antagonism against U.S. production. That's what it looks like. So what is the administration doing about it? I don't know. What's the Pentagon going to do about it? I don't know. But we're going to see how this gets itself sorted out. I don't really have any long-range predictions, but, you know, I'd be going out on a limb. I'm not an expert in following all these things. All I know is that major things are afoot. I made, earlier this week, I put out the World War III video, the brinkmanship, the Cold War starting up, as Gorbachev says, and quotes from Lavrov, which you take in comparison with everything that's going on. Ukraine is still heating up to a entrenched civil war, just as Syria. This axis of war and strife and violence that's going on around the Black Sea definitely is connected with this oil war now. All we have to do is factor in the rest of the continents, and especially the far eastern side of Asia, with China, Japan, the Koreas, Taiwan, Philippines, Malaysia, Vietnam, and etc., etc. We are going to see what's coming out of that, how China responds, how Russia responds, how Europe responds. The latest news there is that some kind of a deal has been negotiated between the two sides of Ukraine, the axis there, wherein energy fuel, especially for the winter, where it's needed just for survival, is going to be guaranteed. There is a deal cut with the European nations, the EU, which will regulate or make regular the delivery of the resource, of the goods. Okay? So they're saying that the war is not going to affect that as of now. However, in war, you know, these things get destabilized. I'm sure it's because they just buckled down and Russia said, well, we need this money, and Ukraine with NATO around Kiev said, we need this money. You know, Eastern and Western, they're saying, we need this money. Okay, so let's get this money from the other buyers, and that's the nature of the beast. Okay, so but we're going to have to see how many lives are going to be lost and who else is going to be drawn into this conflict. And if you have too many multiple conflicts going on, you were definitely in a World War III situation. So I should do a whole new video about that probably after this weekend. I'm going to do some research and see what are the indications of it. This oil war is definitely an indicator. All right, fire it off now, knowing that we have a stake in this.